Hi, welcome to the ILEA Integral Leadership in Action Support Pod. Today, Bett Bollhoefer, myself, are presenting on something that I'm calling embodied product. Embodied product. So what does that mean? It's just, I think there's a lot of layers to it. So let me explain. First of all, I've been a product manager for many, many years in software and tech. And I am now a yoga teacher for about 3 years. So I'm taking product, tech, building software and products and bringing the yoga piece and I'm combining them into something I'm calling embodied product. And this is a methodology. It's a way to brainstorm products using chakras and looking for pain and meditating on pain and discomfort, and also spiral dynamics. So that's a very quick, brief overview of what it is. And I have a YouTube channel, I have a workbook, and I have a consulting service, and I'm going to start working on a course that you can take as self-directed course that you will be able to take at your own pace and basically build a product idea. All right, so what is a product? A product is a tangible or intangible solution designed to meet a specific need or desire of a customer. So it encompasses, it could be a service. The problem is nowadays digital products, physical products, they all are all mixing, right? I'm just gonna hold something that's near me. This is my heart rate monitor. So this is a product, but it also has an app. So someone may build a physical thing and then it has an app. So therefore services and products are now very overlapping. Also I have an Aura ring. That's another example of a product. So it's a physical thing. It has a manufacturing plant, but it has an app that goes along with it, which is a service. A lot of times products have a service team that helps you set it up, and then you need maintenance. Anyways, the people are like, what's a product and what's a service? They become blended. Sometimes people write a book and then they have classes that go along with it. So the classes could be thought of as a service. So if you get really like, I want to be black and white about what these things are, they become blended in this modern world. And I just wanted you guys all to know that so you don't spend a lot of time trying to figure out, well, what's a product and what's a service? Now, a product could be a set of YouTube videos that you put out there.
Stopped, and what I did was ridiculous.
So you may create a product line of YouTube videos that have a certain purpose. You put them out and then they serve your community over and over. You could have a class that has a community. And so that's you're in there working with them. So it's kind of a service. Anyways, I'm just letting you guys know that this stuff that I'm talking about is for when you want to bring something out to the world and you want to know who it's for, what does it do, how are you going to get paid for it? Those kind of questions are what my embodied product encompasses. So I actually would just like to stop and just see, because this is really, I've just developed in this in the last few weeks, and I would love to just hear, does that even make any sense so far, or you just have no clue what I'm talking about? And I would like to hear it because Victoria is more like aligned with me in like digital world, but is there other people who just have no idea what I'm even saying? I want to check. All right, I just see a lot of smiles and I'm just going to assume everyone's like, go Bett. All right. Okay, so as a yoga teacher, I have this very exciting experience with the chakras. And as someone who loves integral theory, I spend a lot of time thinking about spiral dynamics. And I have taken the two and I've made a mapping. So I'm going to now share a slide deck. So this is the plan. I'm going to share these slides right now. And then I am going to walk us through a guided meditation where I would want you to be sitting in a comfortable seated pose. So if for some reason you're sitting on nails, this would be a good time to take those nails off your chair. Just make sure your chair is nice and comfy. Okay, so number one, I'm going to be sharing my screen And then I'm going to share this meditation with you. And this, by the way, there's a lot of interpretations of spiral dynamics and chakras, and I know that other people have come up with mappings. My mapping may be a little tiny bit different than other people's, and we're just not going to worry about it so much, because the truth is it is a little bit uh, interpretive, a little, a little bit like art. And so if you really love to fight about stuff, you could definitely fight about this for a long time, because I do know that there is a lot of interpretation. But I think maybe you might enjoy my interpretation also, and that would be way fun for us all versus getting into like a fighting match. Okay, so I know this is not full screen, but can you see it pretty good, or is it too, I can actually make it. I'm gonna go ahead and, okay, can you still see it? Let's see. Yes. Okay,
Yes.
great. All right. So I've been in tech for a long time, and I'm blending my tech and my embodied practices. That's what this says. All right, so I'm going to be laying out this information, and then we'll do the meditation next. So you can just sit and watch this, and then I'll have you close your eyes at the time when I'm finished showing the slides. All right, so if you've never heard of the chakras before, you don't worry, because I'm going to explain it all. The root chakra, Muladhara, by the way, I'm not a big fan of like all the Sanskrit words, because I think they're alienating to people. Root chakra is from the ground to your sits bones. So from the ground to your sits bones in the middle of your pelvis, this is your root chakra. And it is about being secure, stable, and surviving. It's the basic physiological needs, which maps well onto beige. Some of the other ones are a little bit more janky, but this one's pretty clear. Now I'm going to have, this is a format I'm going to be using on all these slides. So there's a personal question for you as just a person. Do you feel safe and secure? And then there's a product question. Are you building a product that's solving a safety or security challenge? And I'm going to just give an example here. When I first launched my entrepreneurship back after I quit my job at Meta, I was totally freaked out, because I was putting so much pressure on myself to get my business going and be successful. But that was actually putting me in kind of a panic mode. So every time I talked to potential customers, I had this kind of neediness. It was like, don't you really want to like come to my yoga class? And that's a little exaggerated. But that little bit of neediness and panic would come through, and definitely like made customers just kind of go away from me, right? They did not want to have anything to do with me. And so when you're building a product or a service, you really need to figure out, where are you coming from? Are you coming from a place of safety? And if not, like, first of all, like, for instance, if someone was in a relationship that was abusive, that's not the best time to be creative, right? That's like so obvious. But you really need to feel safe and secure before you can start doing creative work. And building a product is a creative endeavor. All right, so that's number one. Personally, are you safe? Are you secure? Do you feel like you're coming from a place where you can serve other people? And from a product, really thinking about, what is your customer dealing with? Are you building a product that is water, that is a safety security system, for instance? And I'm going to give a very specific example for each of these from my own business. So I am a yoga teacher, and I'm just going to give that example because I think everyone can relate to it. I help people with balance and stability. So very specifically, strengthening their feet, working on ankle strength, knee strength, hips. So that's the whole root chakra. And I watch people as they kind of wobble, and I help them build stability in their feet, which is like a direct correlation to this beige stage. All right. Everyone good? Moving on. All right, good. Sacral. By the way, I love all of these chakras so much, and I'm going to have to try to not like say something like, I just love this chakra, because I really love them all. All right. So again, I'm not a big fan of these long Sanskrit words, but if you do want to look at that, that's fine. So this maps to purple on the spiral. It is your creativity, your relationships, emotional intelligence. With the purple, it's tribal, ritualistic, community focused. And how does this impact you personally? It is your awareness of your personal value. So our sacral is the place of, it's your womb if you're a female, if it's the gonads if you're a man. It's your place where you're creating something so unique. And so this is a place where you really need to be aware of who you are. Who are you as a special sacred person in the world? And bringing in my background as a Christian, sacred means set apart, right? So, what it makes you different, and you hear this all the time in product differentiation, right? That's a word that people talk about a lot when you're building a product. How are you different than other products? And so, meditating on your own personal difference. So, for me, I'm a tech person, system thinker, but I'm also a yogic person. So bringing these two together makes me a really unique person in the world. So that's my personal example. And each of you has a childhood, you had a unique set of siblings and parents and early childhood experiences. And then all throughout your life, you go through all these different mixtures that make you so unique and special. So just tapping into that and meditating on that uniqueness is in your sacral. So when you're building a product, so moving now to the second question here, is what is so unique and special about your product? You do not want to be a knockoff, a cheap knockoff. You want to be so unique and so amazing in this world. So you need to take a lot of time to figure out why are you different and what is the special deep knowledge that you have. When you build a product for like almost like one customer, but there's hopefully a million of them out there that need it, you are going to make those people so happy. They're just going to love you and they're going to be such a loyal customer. All right. So for example, for me, I work with students and I bring that system thinking. So I'm trying to see the bigger picture. Are they sleeping? Are they eating right? What is the other things that are going on in their system, their body, that may be complicating the injury that I'm working with? So that's just an example. Okay, moving onward, solar plexus. So red stage, confidence, personal power, decisive action, and power-driven assertiveness, control. Now, I feel in our integral community, we are just all down on red. But the truth is, the chakra has a much more positive connotation. So let's all take our hands to our solar plexus. So it's right here, right below the rib cage. Just go ahead and take it there. This is our power center. This is our breath. So go ahead and exhale. I know we're going to do more of a meditation later, but just exhale and inhale. Feel that power center. So when we tap into this solar plexus chakra and our red boundaries, we can really bring a lot of power. And there's so much here. And as we go up, there's going to be more and more layers and so much more to dig into. But what I'm just going to give an example is setting boundaries, setting personal boundaries. So when I first started teaching yoga, I was teaching so many classes. I was completely burned out and I started really hating it. Now, this is just something we've probably all gone through, right? So setting personal boundaries is saying no to things, right? It's like trying to figure out what is important and then saying no to everything else. And that is just an example of how to tap into your solar plexus and your red power stage of just making sure you're not overextending yourself. And when you're thinking about product, you can also think about how do you build automation so that your team has boundaries. Again, this could be having so many layers. I'm just giving this one concrete example because there's a lot in this red that you could tap into. All right, so example here is like having an FAQ on your website. So I actually film a lot of videos for students and I send it to them. That way they can be kind of self-serving on their own without me having to be there all the time. So that's an example of having boundaries around your product. Onwards, moving into the heart chakra. Now I feel like everyone in Integral is all about the heart chakra, right? We love to love. We love to feel, love to have compassion. And that's beautiful. That's really wonderful. But I think product people tend to not have as much heart chakra. So let's all go ahead and take our hand to our heart chakra. So it's right here on the breastbone. And it's like very strong. It's very strong for me. So it's our love, it's our compassion, it's our ethical responsibility. It's also order and discipline and a moral framework. So let's all take our hands and go like this. I know this is turning into a meditation, but anyways, our hands are an extension of our heart chakra. So feel your arms. You can even touch your arms. Your arms and your hands are an extension of your heart chakra. Our hands are our first tool. We took our hands and we built tools to extend from the heart chakra. So whenever we add skills to the hands, it could be like building, like, I don't know, whittling something or building something, or even learning how to write code, how to cook. These are all skills that we extend through the heart chakra. So we need to feel the love and the compassion in the heart, but it has to come out and help other people. So here we have, who are you serving? For example, again, all of these chakras, we could do infinite numbers of different ways to meditate on this, but personally, who are you serving? Who's your community? Who do you live to serve? What's your purpose? And for me, I have found that I love working with go-getters and seniors who want to get going, but they have blockers, like their feet have an injury or they have a knee injury, for example. So I love serving these seniors who are go-getters and want to get stuff done. I resonate with them. So as you're thinking about your product, you need to then think about who are you serving and why. And the more you can tap into that, then you can add skills. So example, for me, I found this community that I really love to serve, and then I actually added a bunch of certificates so that I could serve those people even better. All right, we're almost done here. Throat chakra and the third eye. So let's all take our hand to the throat and the third eye, which is up here. So this is the throat is the speaking. It's the ability to communicate, to lead, to have resonance with people. And the third eye is bringing the data in. So it's the insights, intuition, it's connecting to our ears and our eyes, but it's also connecting to our emotions. So we're getting emotions, those are giving us data, and we're hearing things, we're listening. And so with orange, we want to use the data. We want to collect the data. We want to be data driven. With the green, we want to be listening. We want to make sure we're not leaving people out. We want to think about the human race, the planet, kind of bringing those different pieces in. All right, so for personally, you want to hone your voice. And this is a continual practice. You want to speak, you want to listen, and you want to see, are you resonating with people? Is it working? You need to find measurements. Like for instance, when I make a video, I want to see, did it resonate with people? Did I get more views? Did I get more likes on that video? So that's using data along with bringing all that the insight and intuition. So product research, listening, you do all kinds of testing. There's a lot of really exciting things around contextual design, which is watching users in the environment use the products. This is a very incredible, powerful way to watch and improve your product. I have all of this stuff in my free workbook, by the way. Yeah, I know, it's really awesome. All right, let's move on. This is the one I think another integral love yellow and turquoise, right? So tapping in, so go ahead and tap the top of your head, your crown chakra, transcendence, universal connection, the higher purpose. So it's system thinking, agility, well, fix your hair, integrative, global well-being, planetary stewardship. But you know what else? It's the zeitgeist, the zeitgeist. So as personally, I'm hoping, want to tap into the zeitgeist, want to tap into the universal. Where are we going as a species? Are we going to combine with machines? I don't know. Anyways, you need to connect into that universal consciousness and ask, how am I continuing to serve? So personally, you want to connect to it. And then with product research, I think taking time to understand what's going on in the world and not getting stuck. I think so many companies, like think about Blockbuster, right? they didn't continue to connect with the zeitgeist. What was happening? They were like, no, 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 we're not going to change. So you really need to be ready and willing to change and move with the trends. And yes, and then the last thing, it's just, okay, so how do you implement this? Uh, Identifying the different stages of your products, holistic and ethical, and using all this for team dynamics. There's just so many layers in here, but the key takeaway is chakras and spiral dynamics can both help you with your leadership and developing products. I highly recommend that you guys take a look at this and do more about it. And then also I have a bunch of videos on my website that you can check out. Okay. How's everyone doing before we do the meditation?
Can I ask you a question?
Karen's here, yes. And William. Yes. Oh my God.
So when you're mapping chakras, are you mapping the company's primary chakras or
Good question.
individuals?
I don't think I often wonder, does my cat have chakras? And if so, where are they exactly? So, Tom, humans have chakras. Humans. This is the yeah.
So I think you mean no, you see it as an individual,
No.
not a plural.
Humans, very specific individuals have chakra. I think this is like the most important question, Tom. This is like brilliant. Each of us as humans, not AI, has a chakra, has all these chakras. And when we as leaders can help our people tap into and this is the embodied wisdom, right? This is where that is. Each piece of it is in a different spot in our body. So I think as leaders, the quality of our leadership is helping our teams tap into that inner wisdom to then bring that forth, through their speaking, through their hands, their wisdom, like that. Each person is tapping into their own zeitgeist that they're uniquely seeing in the world. And if they can help the whole team get into that zeitgeist, think about how amazing your team's going to be, right? They're going to be next level powerful. Yeah. William, you're
Oh,
on.
William, you mute.
I think what Tom was getting at was whether there's collective chakras, all the individuals in an organization, if there's like a center of gravity with chakras on a collective basis. So in a sense, an organization can have sort of a collective chakras.
I think this is extremely interesting, and we're going to have to get T to help us do a wee space around this. But what I'm thinking is it's more than just a collective chakra. I think it's holes in your chakra. So I think that if you have a bunch of people who's just up here doing like orange green thinking and they're not connected to the ground. So in my workbook, and this is not just like an advertisement for my free workbook, by the way, I actually talk a lot about being data driven, and that's being grounded. So if your people are up here running models that are not connected to real data, you could have a hole in your collective chakras of not being grounded. So I think it's more important to keep all the chakras well oiled and active and tapping into that. Because the thing about an organization that doesn't have a heart chakra, like no one there is caring about the customer. Like that's a disaster. That's how we get these nightmare situations. So I think it's more important to have like each person take some time to understand their unique gifts and their chakra orientation so that we can bring them all together. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
and Bett,
Yes.
from your point of view, having a preference for spiral dynamics, I always think of the Gravesian model of swinging from collective to individual, collective to individual. So I think that also has a piece in here that we could parse out. I did
like
have a
it.
question over there on chat that said, would you again tell us what support for you looks like today? And then Jane also had her hand up. She was waving. I saw you, Jane.
And Dan does too. Okay, so support looks to me like come on Saturday to my more expanded version of this, where we're actually going to do a discomfort product ideation together where we're all going to find products in our lives. It's going to be so fun. And then the second thing is come to Embodied Integral. And third is if you know someone who would be interested in bringing me in to run some kind of workshop like this, to help people get into their chakras, to understand this, to open their awareness that if they're not connected to their heart chakra or they're floated off into space just thinking about stuff, they could be really missing things to serve their customer base. So yeah, I would like to either come in and share this knowledge with other people or get people to watch, you know, my materials. Okay. Did that help?
Yeah, but I can't be there on Saturday. That's why I look like this here, because I'm doing that other
Understandable.
stuff, but love
Well,
you.
thankfully you'll be there on April 3rd through 5th. All right, Jane.
Yes, I'm planning to be there this Saturday. Our semester's over and I have a Saturday off, so I'm hoping to be there. This is brilliant. I just want to say I'm really jazzed listening to this because, you know, my husband and I and our business partner teach something called the art of quantum living. And it's really shadow work for helping people to move in their development, their evolutionary development. And this is a piece of it that I think because we talk a lot about the spiral and what is second tier thinking and how do we get there? And a lot of our students are in that question. But to know that if I have a blockage in one of these chakras that I'm not even aware of, that's what could be holding me back and to do the work. So I just love this. I think it's really insightful wisdom. So thanks, Bett. Really enjoyed
Coming
it.
from you, Jane, I am very excited to hear that. And I really, they could be called blockages or blind spots. And I think depending on where people are, probably, you know, in that orange layer, they're just up here. They're not down, you know, maybe they're not connecting to their power. So yeah, I think that's a good way of thinking about it. Dan.
Yes, I'm pretty much Kim and Jane had covered some of the things I was thinking about as well. Really, you know, you're bringing together the personal, which is certainly chakras. I love your emphasis on embodied, because even though I've been practicing yoga continuously for 50 years, I tend to be mostly in my head, and you know that. So I think this is really good. But it's also, you know, more lately I've been about integral leadership is about relationship marketing too, as you already pointed that out about being in your heart and being in service rather than just trying to sell a product. So I think you're definitely onto something here, and it was kind of, I guess, a little bit obvious, but until you do it in the way you're doing it, you know, you got to practice it, right? So it's cool.
Yeah, that's so true. And I'll just tell you guys one quick story. I worked at this company and we were like the low cost provider for this service. I'm not going to tell you because I don't want you guys to go. I mean, the company's not around anymore, but basically the customer had terrible debt and that's why they had to come to us. And literally everyone just sat around talking about how bad our customers were. And I'm like, why are we here? Like, we need to have love. Like, there could be a different framing of this customer that is not like, oh, these are debt, like, you know, terrible people. It's like, no, these are people on their last hope, right? It's like really how you frame your customer. And I just think there's a lot of companies out there that just are not connecting to their heart chakra at all. And then another really important thing, all these things are so important, but like if you're not resonating with your customer at the message, and this is where the spiral really comes in. If you're talking to, let's say, people who are very fundamental religious kind of blue level people, and you're talking and like you need to like save the planet and you're talking like green words, they're not going to buy your product. They're going to be like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't care about that. So finding this messaging in your throat chakra that's going to match the people that you're talking to is another really, really critical. And you know that people do this with the greenwashing, like it's the, you know, the toothpaste that's like environmentally friendly but it's like just fake and it's not actually. So people who do this know how to do it. And the thing is, if we're building a product, are we learning how to communicate properly? Anyways, I'm going to stop doing that now. We're going to do a meditation. So are you guys all ready? So for this, you don't need to look at me. I'm going to just talk you through it. So even if you want to go lay down somewhere, if you want to sit, whatever you want, and if you guys want to turn off your camera, I don't care what you guys do. The main thing is if you have notifications popping up on your phone or other things, please put yourself on Do Not Disturb because this is your time. And I'm going to walk us through this meditation, and I just really want you to take this time for yourself. It's not going to be very long because we don't have all that much time, but I just want you to really feel what we're going to walk through. Okay, so go ahead and close your eyes. So we're going to start. If you feel comfortable closing your eyes, I welcome you to do that. We're going to start with just feeling the breath coming through the nose. So just getting a little bit grounded in the breath. So feeling the air rushing in and rushing out. And then I want you to see if you can feel the air flowing through your sinus cavities. It might be a little bit challenging to feel that, but see if you can feel the air going through your sinus passages. Flowing in, flowing out. And now we're going to take one hand to our belly and one hand to our back. And find that solar plexus. So find the rib cage with your front hand and then go right below that rib cage. And then bring your back hand right directly behind that. And so we're going to breathe. We're going to push in on the exhale, bringing the hands together. And then we're going to inhale, letting the hands spread. So we're going to try to get a diaphragmatic breath, getting our solar plexus moving. On the front and the back of the body. All right, one more. And then let your hands rest wherever they will. And let your breath return to your everyday breath. So we're going to be starting with our root chakra. So if you're laying down, feel wherever your heels are touching the ground. And if you're seated, feel the ground underneath your feet. And then feel your legs. If you can feel the strength of your legs. And if you're seated, feel your sits bones. If you're not, you can just feel the whole length of the legs running up into the pelvis. So we are going to just think, I'm just gonna have a few questions here around this root chakra. So do you feel that you are in a financially safe, secure place? And just noticing any emotions that come up when I mention these words. Are you living a sustainable financial life right now? And you don't need to do anything. There's no need to change anything right now. You're just noticing. Noticing any emotions, sensations. Do you feel safe in your home? Noticing any emotions that come up for that question. And now we're going to shift our attention to the sacral. So the sacral, you have your sacrum in the back, and you can even touch that. If you're seated, you can touch that. If you are laying on your back, you could touch your lower belly. You can also touch your lower belly if you're seated. So go ahead and take your hands down to your sacral chakra, which is right below the belly button. And you can just leave your hands here, breathing into the lower belly. This is your uniqueness in the world. So here, I want you to, again, just notice if any emotions or anything, any sensations come up. When you think about what makes you unique in the world, what comes up for you? And again, you don't have to do anything right now. You don't have to journal, just noticing. What comes up for you when I ask you what makes you unique? And do you feel like you're allowed to shine as your unique self? Do you feel like you have to hide your special, unique self, or can you be yourself in the world? So just breathing into that question. And now we're going to bring our hands up to where we were just breathing. So the front hand, and then if you can, reach back and touch the back body. So right below the rib cage, your solar plexus. So breathing into the solar plexus, letting the hands fall on the exhale and expand on the inhale. This is your power center. And as I talk about this center, just noticing any emotions or any sensations that come up. What is it that brings you the most power? Is it a set of values that you bring to the world? Is it your experiences? Is it your relationships? How do you hone and develop your power? Do you feel confined? Is there something blocking the power that you know you have? All right, we're going to take our hands to our heart chakra now. So the breastbone, right below the collarbones, you can bring both hands up if that feels good, and just lightly touch here. So again, just feeling this sensation. You can breathe into the heart center. Notice the sensations, any emotions that come up as I ask you the following questions. Do you feel that you're living your purpose? Are you able to love the people you love without fear? Are you blocked in any way from serving your community in the way that you want to? And then go ahead and take your hands in front of you. You don't have to open your eyes, but squeeze your hands and feel the strength. And ask yourself, do you have the skills right now to serve the community in the way you want to, or do you need to hone that skill and work on it? And feel the strength of your biceps, your triceps. Go ahead and make those biceps big and strong and feel that strength down to your fingers. And just feel any emotions that come up for you when you feel this. Very nice. Okay, we're going to now take our hand to our throat chakra. You could have one hand or two hands. So just touching the middle of your throat, you could take your hands around your throat, whatever feels okay for you. It can be a sensitive area. So our throat chakra is our unique voice in the world. And go ahead, we're going to do a little hum. So inhale through the nose, hum with the lips closed. And then just let the breath return to everyday breath. And feel the vibration resonating, the aftermath of that little hum in your throat. Again, just noticing any emotions that come up for you. Do you feel that you can speak in your natural, personal, unique voice without judgment? Do you feel like you resonate with the people that you talk to? Do you feel heard? Mm. And then go ahead and bring your forefingers to the middle of your forehead. We're going to go to the third eye, and then we're going to bring our thumb to our ears. And then we're going to bring our middle finger to the bridge of the nose. So we're making a connection between the ears and between the eyes and the third eye, which is in the middle of the forehead, a little bit right above the eyebrows. So go ahead and just feel this area, any sensations that are coming up for you as you bring your focus to your senses. So this is the place where we receive sensation information from the world through our eyes, through our ears, through our skin. We process it all, but also from our emotional state. Also listening to the thoughts in our mind. So are you giving yourself time every day to process emotions that are coming up? When you have a big emotional reaction, are you giving yourself time to understand what is the information that is coming through that important sensation? Are you honoring all the senses? Are you giving yourself time to tap into the intuition? And again, just noticing any emotions that come up with these questions. Listening to your thoughts is very important. It has a lot of information. All right, we're going to now go to the crown chakra. So you can take your hands to the soft spot in the middle of your head. This is where your soft spot was when you were a little baby. So this is your connection with the eternal. So I'm just going to ask a few little questions here and noticing any sensation that you have as you touch. You could even maybe massage a little bit. Are you giving yourself time every day to connect with the universal, the divine, whatever that means for you, the continuing, evolving universe? Are you listening to the signals coming through the divine? And are you sending signals out to the rest of the universe, to all the evolving creatures everywhere, sending loving kindness, good vibrations, whatever that means to you. Maybe praying. All right, so we're going to take our hands down, bring the palms together, and just go ahead and feel the whole body from the ground. If you're seated, you could rub your feet on the ground, feeling, breathing through the whole body. All right, excellent. Softly open the eyes. Wow. Okay, so this would be a good time to do some journaling. So taking some paper, and I'll give you guys that time after this session today. But we're just going to check in with the last few minutes of the session and see what came up for you. How was that? Anything interesting? So I would love to hear from anybody at this time. And we did just about a minute and a half on each chakra, just as little. Whew. Not feeling chatty, huh? It's intense, right? Was there any chakras that were more intense for you? How about that as a question? And by the way, this was all personal, but you can also turn these questions around and turn it towards your product specific areas. But today we were just doing more of a personal, since we didn't have as much time as would be wonderful.
I at one point touched my crown chakra to the eye chakra. Did both of them at once. And I felt an enhancement in perception, from a bigger perspective. So I'm going to experiment with that.
Yes. So there's so much to say. I play with this stuff all the time. So what I do is I connect each of them by touching. Because really, you see this, there's a lot of drawings out there, and they have these circles. And that's really, if you connect your feet with your brain, with your crown, I mean, it's infinitely more, right? If you are just talking, it's not going to work. You have to have it coming in anyways. Yes, Tom, it's amazing. I don't know what the right mathematical, it's not exponential. It's more than exponential when you connect them. I'm so glad you got to feel that. I'm so excited. Whew. It's better to lay down, by the way, when you're doing this. It's a lot. Karen.
Yes, thank you. This was very calming and energizing at the same time, and clarifying. I mean, I already knew that I am most conflicted in my second and third chakras. That's why I have certain body conformation the way I do. That the Slavic paunch is also it's all connected there. But what this did for me was clarify and emphasize where I am most conflicted about applying to what I already know I'm here to do. It just kind of I'm on the right track. I know I'm on the right track. I know where I kind of sort of know where I have a speed bump, but this helped me really clarify that particular speed bump. Thank you.
This was 15 minutes, Karen.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine if we had a full hour just to do the chakra meditation. This stuff is so powerful, and it's like layers, like onions, like layers and layers and layers. Karen, so delighted to hear this. Unbelievably delighted. Who else has anything to share? There's no wrong answers. Whatever you could say, I don't believe in chakras. I just don't believe in them at all. Before I took yoga teacher training, I did not believe in chakras. I didn't feel it. I couldn't feel them when I touched them. I didn't have any, and now they're like almost overwhelming. If I touch my heart center, it's like it's over for me. Anyone now believe in chakras that didn't believe on them before? Did I convert anyone?
You're hilarious.
Hey, listen, I'm reading William's book right now, and the 6 dimensions of purpose. You gotta tap in. You gotta tap in. Cool. All right. Well, we only have 2 minutes left, so this is a plug. please go check out my website, Bett Bollhoefer. I actually have recorded that little meditation that we just did, and I actually have unique videos for each chakra. So they're a little longer than today's. They're about maybe 3 to 5 minutes each. And I know I'm partial to some of them, and that's wrong, and I need to work on that. But some of them are a little longer. So I have the whole thing that's about 30 minutes, and then I have little pieces. So if you liked one of them, you can just put it on and lay down. Laying down is really nice. And then I highly recommend the journaling. So you can do this again, and then get your pen and paper and really dig in, because if you find something in there, like, you know, some people are like, I'm not special. There's nothing special about it. I meet these people all the time. They're like, I'm not special. I'm like, what are you talking about? You're so special. Like, you know, so tapping and like, where is it that your blind spots really? But anyways, come on Saturday. Saturday, we're going to do also a discomfort. I know you guys are like, oh, that sounds fun. But we're going to be doing a discomfort meditation. And we're going to do some brainstorming about our lives on where do we have discomfort and could it become a product? Ooh, super fun. All right, well, guys, I hate to tell you, but we've reached the end of the hour. I know. I feel like we're just getting started. Thank you all so much. I really have enjoyed sharing this with you. I just love the chakras so much. And I just am I feel honored to be able to share it with you all. And I hope I see you for sure next time, and also in future things. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Bett. This was
Thank you.
fabulous.
Bett.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you
Thank
Saturday.
you.